Hey guys, it's Erin. I'm so happy you guys came back. I know we have some big news, giveaway-wise, to tell you about. I am not in my normal space. I am actually at Jaxie's house filming because I filmed last night and it was not quality. It was not something I wanted to show you guys, and at this point, I'm just hoping this one films and sticks and looks good. So, as you know, according to the title, these are my 5 favorite authors. Now, what's funny is I could not do 5. Now, one of the authors is from the UK, and I think he's pretty big over there. I haven't seen him a lot over here, but he writes thrillers, and so a lot of what you're going to see is YA or romance, and I thought it might be kind of nice to put a more adult genre in my top 5 picks, so we'll have an honorable mention as well. So, welcome back. Let's jump in. My first author for this video is Christina Lauren. So, if you don't know, Christina Lauren is actually 2 people, but they write wildly funny, wildly realistic romances. They're trope-filled, but they're so wonderfully unique, and I absolutely adore them as a pair. They write great stuff. The Unhoneymooners was published earlier this summer. It was definitely one of my favorite summer reads. It was a enemies to friends love story, and they just did an amazing job. I thought it was funny, I thought it was relatable, and I really loved Olive. So I don't think Christina Lauren can do much wrong in the way of romance writing. So, and they write a bunch, well, they don't write a bunch of series anymore, but all of their series books, like Dark Wild Night, which is book 3 in one of their series, you can read as a standalone as well. They all have the same characters, but you don't necessarily have to read the entire series to understand what's happening. And I love that about them as a unit. So Christina Lauren is author number 1. Now, disclosure, these are not in any specific order. I don't think you can really, especially when it's different genres, I don't think you can be like, oh yeah, that's my favorite author. Because I don't think that it's not realistic to be like, yeah, I can rate all authors the same. I don't think that works. So Christina Lauren, author number 1. The second author I want to talk about is Neal Shusterman. I have read his stuff since I was obviously a YA myself. I don't know if I consider myself a young adult anymore. According to the standard, I'm not, but I do read a lot of YA. One of my favorite authors is Neal Shusterman. He wrote the Scythe series, obviously. He wrote Dry with his son. I feel like he, as a writer, is very unique. His storylines are great. I feel like overall he's just a super easy author to read and super creative. I read the first Scythe book when Jaxie was an infant still, pretty new preemie, could not put it down, was holding Jaxie in my arms, trying to turn pages because I didn't want to stop. So I picked up Thunderhead almost immediately when it was released and have been on a sad desert journey until the Toll in November. So I highly suggest, if you haven't read it already, pick up Scythe. It is such a great series. I cannot say it enough. The other book I have by Neal is Dry, and the thing I liked about Dry was that it was very realistic to a situation that could happen to us in this day and age. California runs out of water. The book surrounds 2 kids whose parents go missing or go insane, and having to figure out how to survive this crisis on their own. And so I think it was a very good, like, coming of age novel. You know, you realize the importance of taking care of what we have. And I think that him and his son did an amazing job of putting that into a book that would open the eyes of the youth and teens and all of that. So I think that he has a wide range author-wise, and I really, really like his stuff. So Neil Shusterman is another one of my all-time favorites. Number 3 is Gina Showalter. Now, Gina Showalter does a little bit of YA and a little bit of adult. She does adult romance very well. She has multiple series out, all kind of paranormal. This series in particular is my absolute favorite by her. It is The Lords of the Underworld. It's a loose adaptation on Pandora's Box, and these lords break into Pandora's Box and are all cursed with one of the sins inside. So this is Arion's story, and he's cursed with wrath. And basically what happens is they all find their love interest or their true love, and they either defeat the demon or their love interest basically negates the demon's qualities. And I mean, I guess that's a huge spoiler, but they're all well written, they're all very spicy, they're all very well put together, and I enjoy the fact that there are so many. I mean, there's literally, I think, about 14 books about the lords themselves, and then there's a couple of spin-offs as well with minor characters, and so it's just a series that keeps on giving. Now, I haven't touched on a lot of Gina Showalter's YA books, but obviously I have The Evil Queen. I'm very excited about it. It's in my TBR for October, and I'm finally going to get a chance to read it, which is exciting. But this will be my first jump into her YA. Look at that shimmer. But I think that she is another author that really works hard to be able to appease a lot of people, and I think that overall I'm going to enjoy her YA as much as I enjoy her adult books. So Gina Showalter is a definite must-read if you like paranormal fantasy, if you like romance. It's a good place to be. So that is 3 out of 4, or 3 out of 5. Holy cow. Obviously it's Friday and my brain's not working very well. So my next author, I think, is going to be a very popular opinion author, because I think everybody loves J.K. Rowling. And I happen to like her adult stuff just as much as I like Harry Potter. Now, J.K. Rowling obviously found my appreciation at a very young age. I was like 8 when I got the first Harry Potter book. I remember the night clearly. I had had a horrible day at school. My parents had to go to a work function. I did not want to stay with my sitter, and I literally spent the entire night bawling my eyes out. My mom came home, and my mom is a giant reader as well. If you follow my Instagram, you've probably seen a couple of inspirational stories involving my mom. But she brought me the first Harry Potter book, and we read like 5 chapters and had the book done in a week. And I still have the book cover for that book. Unfortunately, I've lost the book itself due to a flood in my parents' basement, but I am glad that I still have the book cover. I will be framing it and putting it in my library when it's done. But Harry Potter, I think, will always have a very deep place in my heart, because Harry developed as I did as a person. You know, growing up, Harry grew up with me. And I went to so many release parties. My mom and I had countless memories involving Harry Potter. We watched the movies together. Mind you, I've only seen up to movie 3 because I wasn't a huge fan of the movie franchise. But, you know, there's so many things that Harry touched on in my life and was there for me for. And I think that, you know, you can thank Harry for that, and you can thank J.K. Rowling, because really she transported us all into this wonderful world of Harry. But I also enjoyed A Casual Vacancy. I loved how honest it was, and it was just a whole new look at J.K. Rowling as a writer, and I thought that was amazing. I couldn't put it down, and I genuinely don't know why, because I know a lot of people are not a fan of this book. I will say I'm not a fan of the series that she wrote with her pen name. Her mystery series, I just couldn't get into the main character, and then they came out with, I think it's a TV show, and the guy is more attractive than was described in the book, and so maybe I'll try it again sometime, but I just wasn't into it. and maybe the guy being attractive is the reason why, but A Casual Vacancy is has a very nice spot on my shelf because I liked the fact that J.K. Rowling could do more than just Harry Potter. So J.K. Rowling is author number 4. Author number 5, I think is pretty well known, but Helen Hart. She writes strictly romance. She's got a bunch of different series, and I have really enjoyed a lot of her writing. This is my favorite series of all time. It's close second with Lords of the Underworld by Gina Showalter, which we touched on. But the Steele brothers have some sort of magic over me. So there's 3 books for each brother. This is Talon's, this is Jonah's, and this is Ryan's. And now their sister is getting a section of the series as well, but they're dark, they're brooding, they're broken men, and their women don't save them. I don't think save them's the right word, but their women are there for them and help them grow and help them deal with the trauma that Talon suffered through. I mean, Talon is abducted, and his older brother Jonah feels like he should have protected him. His younger brother Ryan was with Talon when he got abducted, and I can't really say anything more than that because it's spoilery, but it's just a wonderful series with layers and layers and layers, and Helen does an amazing job of breaking things down and making an enticing read. These are one-day reads for me. I cannot put them down. I think they are addicting. I am counting down the days until the next Marjorie book, but I just love them. Now, I will say that I also enjoyed her Temptation series, the Sex and the Seasons. They're very spicy. I am not a huge fan of her Blood Bond series, which is a vampire series set in New Orleans, and I can't even tell you why. I'm just not sure I'm connected with Dante or Aaron in them. But overall, Helen Hart really hits it out of the park for me. I enjoy everything she does, and she is one of my absolute favorites. Obviously, that's why she's on this list. So that is my core 5. Now, I'm going to touch on one more because I think that MJ Aldridge is an amazing writer. He writes thrillers. He writes one series extremely well. This is the Helen Grace series. It is set in the UK. Helen Grace is a police officer, gone detective, gone inspector. Like, she climbs the ranks through these books. And what's great is you can read them as a standalone. I actually read the Doll's House first, not realizing that it was part of a series. And I went back and I read the first one, and there were alludes to the case that was involved in this book, but you can kind of read them besides the last 3. I wouldn't read the last 3 out of order because they all kind of interlock. But overall, you can read these out of order and they still make sense, but he just does an amazing job of building suspense and writing a character that you care about, writing a character that you want to see grow and see succeed. And not only that, he's not afraid to put Helen in danger. And I love that. I love when authors are willing to take chances like that because it's realistic. I'm so over books that, oh, he got shot with an arrow and he lived. Okay. Oh, he got shot again? And it's just unrealistic. And in my brain, it's like, so he does a great job of keeping it honest, keeping it real. The chapters are short, so you feel like you've really accomplished something. I can't say enough good things about MJ Aldridge. I don't think he's a huge entity in the US yet, but I'd like to see him here. You can pick up his books at Barnes & Noble. I obviously got this one at Target. But these are some of my favorite thriller books. I love them. He finally has a new book out, but I don't think it's about Helen Grace. I think it's like a single read about a clairvoyant detective that I'm super excited about. It's in my Amazon cart. I haven't read it yet, but he has, I believe, 6 Helen Grace full reads and then 2 novellas. But definitely check them out if you like thrillers. MJ Aldridge is awesome. Enough about that. So those are my top 5 authors. Obviously, you've stuck around to hear about the giveaway winner. Yesterday when I filmed, I did it live, And so I already know the winner. I asked Siri to pick a number between 1 and 30, because I had 30 exactly sign up to be a part of the giveaway. And she picked number 9, which is Kaylee, or at Read with Starlight. And she is an amazing human and has an amazing feed. I'm so happy that she is my giveaway winner. Congratulations, Kaylee. I'm sorry that I can't make everybody a winner, but I promise you there will be many more giveaways on here, on my blog, on my Instagram. I like to give things away. So I am going to send out her package today, and I wanted to touch on things you can see in October, or things that you can plan to see in October. I know that I'm having Ryan help me film a video because my library should be done sometime in October. So Ryan will be picking my TBR for November. And we've already done this exercise once. We didn't film it, but he picked very sporadic reads. And I don't necessarily need to have like an arc that makes sense, but it was just a very questionable list. So we're gonna redo this activity. We're gonna film it, and I think it's gonna be funny for you guys to watch because we're kind of a hot mess couple, which I love. But you'll see that. I'm planning on playing a drunk character guessing game with my friend Kelsey and filming it for you guys. I'm obviously going to do my September reading list and what worked for me, what didn't work for me. And I also plan on doing all of my October boxes at the end of the month and saving them, because this is the month that I'm going to start condensing my book boxes. Because currently I think I have 8 coming in every month, and some of them are not great, others of them are iffy. So I'm going to open them up in front of you guys on camera and hopefully get some feedback from you guys, because I think I know which directions I want to go with them. I think I know which ones I would prefer to keep versus others, but I obviously like to have feedback if I'm just being mean or particular in any certain way. So I'm also planning on doing some smaller, maybe just random videos on my feed. I do a lot of ranting on my YouTube or on my Instagram, and I know that that's a big thing. It's a big hit. I do a lot of story times on my Instagram that I think might be kind of funny on YouTube. But everything right now is just kind of, I'm experimenting to see what works and what you guys like and what you guys want to see more of and what people who I don't necessarily know want to see more of. So it's going to be a month of experimentation. And the last thing I want to touch on is my October giveaway. So October holds 2 important events for me. It is my 27th birthday on the 30th of October, and it is my 6-month Bookstagram anniversary on the 6th of October. So I wanted to do something special, and I haven't really decided which way I'm going or what I'm going to do with it, but I know I want to do something. So I'm sure you guys will see more information about that on my Bookstagram, but these pages take me places, and I can't wait to see where we go next. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you next week. Have a great week, guys. Bye.